Montana has first and goal from the 9-yard line, and this is the area where Willie Walden has started to make some hay the past couple weeks. Don't be surprised if they call big number 87's number.
I talked about it in the open today. Willie Walden is such a tough matchup. 6'7", 260, 65 pounds. Tough for any defensive back. Strong safety or free safety to cover him. He can use his body. He can shield that defensive back. Big target for the quarterback to see. You're right. Look for him possibly down here to get the ball thrown his way.
His blocking has gotten so much better this year from a year ago, and I think the thing with Walden, you didn't really know if he was a football player, if he had that edge, that mentality, kind of that killer instinct that you got to have to play this game. You can be a great athlete and not be a good football player. A lot of guys have shown us that. Walden, though, has kind of gotten that bite to him, and again, that kind of that edge, to use that word again, and he's gotten a little mean, and that's helped him tremendously blocking, and I think just in terms of how he carries himself on the field. Stay on the ground to Green. Claws and fights his way for maybe 1.5, 2 yards.
You mentioned early in the game, Bob, possibly a bootleg, which we haven't seen yet. Running that counter play pretty effectively. Not a bad call down here at the goal line to fake that. The key, though, I guess, I'm sorry, they did run it one time, but Oaks didn't pick up that strong safety blitz off the edge. If he can see that blitz, it might be a good call down here.
Talmadge matched up on carry. Heidelberger on top of the screen. And they go that way. Walden in the flat. He's got it, and he's near the goal line. Down at the 2. He stepped out of bounds, tried to reach the ball back towards the pylon, but his foot was already on the stripe.
Looked like the side judge wanted to give it to him, as you call it, a little bootleg. That's what they run out of this, a little fake. He rolls out with looking at really 2 receivers, goes to Walden, and he almost scored here.
Well, it was great communication because the side judge was watching where the ball was in relation to the pylon, and I think he may have had it, and he came back and asked his partner, was his foot on the line, and he said yes, and he's marked to the 2.
3rd and 2. 3rd and goal from the 2. Justin Green time.
Green. Oaks, Walden, Big Willie style.
And if not Justin Green time, then use him with play action to suck the defense in on the bootleg 2 times in a row. Good play calling. Defense wouldn't expect 2 boots in a row. Nice play call. Touchdown and a big drive by the Montana offense right there.
And
much needed.
Both receivers are wide open here. He had his choice to throw it to both different players. Of course, you're going to hopefully take the one nearest to you.
Colt Palmer hasn't had a whole lot of balls thrown his way this year. Probably a good idea to opt for Willie. Walden makes the catch. 2nd straight game with a touchdown for Walden. His 3rd of the season. Snyder tacks it on, and Montana leads 27-14. And we'll take a break. Walden from Oaks, 27-14, Grizz now by 13. 27-14, Montana gives themselves a little bit of a cushion, if you will, with 14-15 left to go here. 9 plays, 75 yards, and just under 3 minutes and 2 yards on that bootleg, which, as you said, Grady, they ran twice in a row, and the second time it paid off for 6 points as Walden hauled in his 3rd touchdown catch of the year. High, short kick from Snyder. Swanigan at the 10, to the 20, 25, and he's cut down at the 27-yard line.
Well, he heard footsteps, Tom. I think Chris Snyder was closing in on him, and he saw that big hit last week. It's good he went down.
Weber State now on top of Idaho State in the 3rd, 19-6, and a big win that would be for the Cats and the rest of the conference, who's trying to chase Idaho State, who has 1 loss. NAU on top with the Bobcats, 14-7 in the 3rd. Keep an eye on both those as we head down the stretch.
Looks like that Grizzly hangover might be coming true for the Idaho State Bengals.
Fuquay tried to go outside. Brett Myers with another tackle.
Brent really did a nice job. He contained the corner, as we talked about before, but then he reached underneath and made a great play here at the end to trip him up. Brendan's just, he's tough. He's tough through and through.
Good linebacker play right there. Both backers, not only Brent Myers, to turn it back inside to his buddy Joel Robinson, just playing together very well.
Second and long. Weiser tried to go across the middle. It's intercepted at the 37-yard line. Kevin Edwards.
Well, we've been praising Weiser's judgment, and it's been really solid all day, but this was a mistake, and Kevin was in the right position. But watch here as he gets flushed a little bit. He takes a chance, and it's the wrong gamble here, right into our hands of the Grizzlies.
You know, anytime you throw off your back foot, it's scary. He got away with it early, and it was a touchdown, and sometimes that can lead to a false confidence, and you feel like you can do that more than you should. He tries it again here this time, and usually this is the way it works. Throwing off your back foot like that does not pay off. Grizzlies have really a chance maybe to put a nail in the coffin here.
Hilliard, the lone back. And it's the true freshman who goes for 10 yards.
Well, and we've talked about the difference between Justin Green and Lex Hilliard. Coach Houck explaining that again today. You can see it. If that's Justin Green right there, who knows, it might be a collision right at the line of scrimmage. Maybe for a gain of 1 or 2 because Justin's so strong, but Lex has the ability to make that first guy miss. Nifty little cut right at the line of scrimmage, and then a gain of 10.
Raynard Carey coming off the corner. They go inside of him, and Hilliard might score. From the 10 to the pylon. Touchdown, Lex Hilliard. From 26 yards out, and Montana extends their lead.
Well, that was a nail in the coffin, and Grady, you could see him smell the end zone at the end. A lot of backs wouldn't have got that, but watch at the end of the play. I mean, he does a great job all the way through the play, but at the end, you could tell he was going to score.
Again, a good cut at the line of scrimmage by Lex to find the hole, and then he breaks a couple tackles, and like you said, Bob, he is not going to be denied. He's going to get in the end zone. Great play, great blocking up front by the Montana offensive line. Good cut here by Lex right there to find the hole, and then accelerates and gets in the end zone. Also give credit downfield to the receiver blocking. Can't even see which number it was, but right at the end of the play, Levander Seegers, LV, nice play.
That's a fake on the extra point. Gets in on the pitch from Oliver, and it's good for 2 points.
I think that was planned off the get-go. I don't think it was a bad snap or anything. Montana wanted to try that, and it sure worked well.
Montana goes up 35-14 on the two-pointer. We'll be right back. Here it was, and on the extra point, Oliver gives it up to his pitch man, Chris Snyder.
Well, we're seeing the versatility of Chris Snyder. He can play defense. He tackles as well as anybody we have on the team. He's an option running back. Man, this kid's a versatile player.
And he has fun. That's what's neat to watch him. He has fun doing all those things you just talked about.
Quick drive for the Grizzlies that time. 2 plays.
Well, and again, we talked about the turnover problems that both teams have had during the season. Portland State's had 4 today, and the Grizzlies have capitalized on 3 of them.
Swanigan's going to have to take a knee here. Well, if there's a team who has the capability and the weapons and the quarterback to put up some points, it would be a team like Portland State or a team like Northern Arizona in this league to do it. But 35-14 is a big deficit with 13 minutes to go. But you can expect them to give it their best shot, and Weiser's probably going to come out firing now.
And it's really a good test, you guys, for the Grizzly secondary. They're going to be tested now. A lot of balls are going to be in the air down the stretch here in 13 minutes. Good chance for them to improve, get better in their coverage schemes. Just really what they need right now.
Pass out here to Ahmad Robinson, incomplete, took a big hit from Kevin Edwards, who's now made 2 big plays in a row.
Well, this is great coverage right here. They're running a cover 4 scheme, which is really just four deep. Edwards is playing the corner. If anybody goes vertical on him, he's going to take that, but when he sees somebody come into his area, a flat route run by the inside receiver just like that, he's going to break on the ball. What a great read he makes and a great break. breaks it up. Nice play, Kevin Edwards.
Grizzlies are back to their base defense on that last play, but now they are into that nickel / dime package. Chris Clark back in the ball game at one of the cornerback spots. Weiser looking his way for Jay Williams, falls incomplete. We just got word from Brian Salmon that Vernon Smith's day is done. Smith will not return.
Well, that is unfortunate, but a chance. You can look on the positive side, a chance to get just more reps for a younger secondary player, which they need. That time, Tom, in that nickel package, as you were describing there, they actually had 4 defensive linemen in the game, and Alan Sines was they put 3 guys down, and Alan Sines kind of played the middle backer position. It looks like they're going to do the same thing here. He's going to stand up and kind of play the mic. Interesting look from the Grizzlies.
I don't think Sines ever thought he'd be playing linebacker when he got recruited by the University of Montana.
3 Bills playing linebacker.
That's a lot of linebacker. Weiser flushed, and he's brought down by Dave DeCoit, and the ball's on the ground.
And it may be Symes who got the football here. We'll see. He did blitz off that backer position.
DeCoit made the strip. No signal yet.
Boy, you can see the difference. Last week, Idaho State played in front a lot of the game, which changes so much of your pass game. When you're behind, and Montana knows, when Montana defense knows that you have to throw the football, and they can put their ears back and come after you, you are in trouble. And that's what Portland State's going to face the rest of the game. They know they have to throw. They're going to come after them. That's scary for Joe Wise right now.
Well, this Portland State offensive line had been the best in the Big Sky in terms of sacks allowed before this game. But they've given up a handful now. And Langford in the punt.
Again, nice coverage downfield by the Grizzlies secondary. A couple of the sacks today have to really be credited to them.
Nearly blocked.
I think it might have been partially blocked.
The outcome looks to be, I mean, the punt was so short that possibly, maybe it did. It was Chris Polhemus in there. 31 yards on the kick.
It's good to see Chris Polhemus, who started at corner the first few games of the season, get in there and make a play.
We'll take a break. Montana will take over when we come back. Well, they've got the wave going here at Washington Grizzly Stadium. Montana starting to wave goodbye to Portland State. 35-14 now. And back with the ball after that last 3 and out by the Vikings. Trips to the far side. Walden's open across the middle. Oakes goes to the right side. And it's caught. And a gain of 7. Hancock.
Just a little look-in play there by your outside receiver. You run your slot, your inside receiver, straight at the safety to take him out of there, and you turn in your outside receiver on just a little in route, throw it out there. Nice, easy completion, high percentage pass. Gain of 8 on first down, which is, as we talked about, right just what the Grizzlies want to do.
Be interesting to see if Jeff Disney comes in and gets some reps here at the end. I know he's back from his injury, and we'll see if he spells Craig a little bit here in the fourth quarter.
Once again with 3 wide, this time to the near side of the field, and Dorsey gets the sack on Prego.
Number 17, Andrew Dorsey.
Nice play by Dorsey. You'll have to see what kind of move he puts on the tackle here. Oh, it looks like it was a running back. Lex Hilliard tried to cut. Dorsey doesn't buy it at all. Beats the block there, and I talked about Lex being such a good pass protector. Sometimes, we've seen it a couple times today, when you try to cut, it allows the defender to play off it a little bit easier. I think sometimes it's better maybe to just stay with them and block them straight up.
Especially if you cut early like that. He was down awful early.
Over the middle to Willie Walden, and Walden converts. And I'm not trying to beat a dead horse here, but this guy is just coming on in a way that really, I mean, if you've watched every game the last couple of years, like I have and like a lot of people have, you know what I'm talking about. Because last year he was known more for dropping passes and missing blocks than anything else, and he's doing both a lot better this season.
Well, anytime, he transfers from the University of Oregon, so anytime you get a guy like, he's a very gifted, very skilled athlete, and you're excited to get him because he was a Division I player. So you just, you wonder what kind of when he's going to turn it on and figure your system out, and obviously he's doing that now, and what a factor he's going to become the rest of his career. Obviously he's starting that process right now.
Green, another strong first down carry. Oh, that's good for 7 yards.
7-yard gain, 2nd and 3.
I mean, at one point you thought he was a total package. He couldn't catch and he couldn't block either.
Right. Well, when you're 6'7", it looks like I was wrong on his. I undersold him about 15 pounds. They list him at 6'7", 275. Wow. When you can run and you're that big, you can be a huge weapon.
He just laid another good block that freed Green. Walden collapsed the right side, and a big gain for Green, and it's a first down.
And this is where it becomes frustrating for a defense when you run at them late in the game. You see the lineman pull out and lead him through. But when you're gaining 6, 7, 8, 10 yards a pop, that's when the defense just really has trouble.
Well, we talked about the size of the Grizzly O front, including Willie Walden. When you've got guys that are close to 300 pounds and they run, like you saw Brad Rhodes and Dylan McFarland right there, when those big guys can run like that, well, that's a scary thing as a linebacker to see a 300-pounder running at you at full steam.
Walden, excuse me, got Walden on the brain. That's Green, not Walden. Green with another first down run, and now the Grizz are set up inside the 4 with first down. And Jay Green is another guy who's played a lot the last couple weeks. Green's in there at center right now. Green had a great block that time. You see McFarland leading the way. Green's number 66 right there, who has played a lot at center today. And that line, as you guys have talked about extensively, is really just bearing down.
Well, they remind me a little bit of Thatcher's Delay from Whitefish, who played for the Grizz, and their physicalness and their meanness. But there isn't just one of those. Those guys are all like that.
Green again, about a yard on that carry.
Well, the Grizzlies really going to their counter tray play right now. They've run it a lot this game, but especially on this drive, almost every play, whether it's that little misdirection counter out of shotgun or just regular guard and tackle. Here's guard and tackle. You'll see Brad Rhodes will pull and kick out the defensive end right there. Dylan McFarland, the tackle, will pull and turn up into the hole and lead Justin Green. Grizzly running and executing that play very well right now.
Haven't seen a ton of Derek Decker in this game. Green has played quite a bit at center. Now over 92 yards on 18 carries for Green. This is number 19, and he's taken down behind the line of scrimmage as Swanigan makes the play.
Well, I think Green might just make the right or the wrong read on this zone play. An outside zone, they're trying to hit it to the outside, but you have to read if the force comes up on the outside and turns you inside, go ahead and turn it inside. Right there, you see it. Turn it inside and follow your blockers, but he tries to bounce and really just runs right into the corner, forcing it inside.
Well, if they're doing one thing, they're definitely eating away at the rest of the clock in this ball game now. We're almost to 7.5 minutes left.
And Chris Snyder on his continuing climb up the record books in 1AA and in the Big Sky Conference and University of Montana, he wouldn't mind getting another shot at a field goal as well.
Oaks going up top, and it's too deep for Tate Hancock, and there's going to be a flag thrown.
There was definitely some contact, but the ball was quite a ways out of the end zone, so we'll have to see if they rule that uncatchable.
Well, yeah, the officials may confer. Looks like it may have been uncatchable, but it was close. Pass interference, the initial call against Odell Jackson.
You know, I asked one of the back judges about how they decide if a ball, are you going to call it uncatchable or are you going to call interference? And he had an interesting answer. He said, at this level, these kids are so talented. I'm not going to make a judgment on that.
Defense number 21. The interference occurred in the end zone. The ball will be placed on the 2-yard line. First down.
What's he mean by that? He's got to make one. He's got to make a judgment.
Well, what he said is that they're good enough athletes that the ball's got to be way overthrown, or else we're going to call it interference.
Yeah, there's some. I agree with that. There's some times where you might think that the ball looked uncatchable, but you never know. Without the contact, that receiver, because of the talent level, might still be able to make that catch. So that's a good point.
Exactly.
First down from the 2.
Well, Coach Houck said he was guaranteed to run out of this. We'll see if they do.
Green's going to walk in.
That's one of those fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice, or however it goes. But yeah, they ran it with ease that time.
Boy, are the Grizzlies developing quite a trio of running backs with Green, Hilliard, and Waller. Scary for the rest of the league.
And I like how they do that, Grady, because it rests the other guy. Everybody brings something different to the table, and they are really a great trio.
Well, you talk about a defense in your preparation during the week, and we talked about them having to prepare at least for a little bit in their defensive scheme to stop the option. You have to adjust your defense really to stop the three different styles of these three running backs.
True. What else is new? 42-14. Montana now starting to really just put it on the Vikings. And there was, he could have just started to walk from about the 5, and it wouldn't have been a problem.
Well, you get the sense of Montana kind of shifting into that 5th gear overdrive as a team, and we talked about how Coach Houck said, look, we're not on the decline. Sure, we lost a game, but we're learning. We're getting better every week, and we're on the rise, and you can see that here today. And this has been a complete game for Montana, and it's also hard for a team. A sign of a great team is once they're beat to come back and put together a game like this, and I get the sense that they're coming together with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I got same as you, the sense from Coach Houck this morning that he really felt good about their progress, even though they lost last week, that they really made improvements, and he feels like they've made improvements in every area, offense, defense, and special teams, all year long in every game. And he feels like if they continue to improve, then their ultimate goals of Big Sky Championship, playoffs, pursuit of national championship, they can achieve those.
Well, they will have to play this well,
yes.
And maybe even better next week to go down to Flagstaff and to give the Lumberjacks a shot. They have proven to be the class so far. Again, there's a lot of football to be played, but NAU looks like they finally have a quarterback to complement the receivers and the defense and the linebackers that they've always had, as the Murrieta kid, the freshman, has just been unreal. That game coming up next week, Grizz at Northern Arizona. We've still got over 7 minutes left in this one, and it's Fuquay to the 30, to the 35, to the 40, and he scoots and falls forward to the 43.
Well, sorry, Bob, if you look at the Grizzlies' schedule this year, as you size it up and the way it's shaping up especially, they've got really the tougher, when you go year to year and back-to-back home-to-home, they've got to go to Idaho State, they've got to go to Montana State, and to NAU. So their schedule is the tougher. Next year they'll have those teams at home.
Offsides, kicking team, penalty is declined, first down.
And you got to feel a little bit good about Jerome Sowers at NAU. He's a great guy. He coached here at Montana, got to know him pretty well, and he's a wonderful person. So I'm proud of him doing so well, and I'm sure he's looking forward to playing the Grizzlies at home.
Yeah, very happy for Jerome. That's a great point. It's good to see him have success and with that program. He's a good man.
Fuquay gets drilled, and the ball's on the ground. It goes Montana. Andy Thompson has the ball, but the guy who made the hit, number 99, Alan Sines.
Man, has he had a huge game. And I tell you, if you're Portland State right now, you just kind of want to get out of here.
Exactly.
That reminds me of? That reminds me of a William the Refrigerator Perry type hit. The way he comes down the line, collapsing guys as he goes, and with the hit. And Thompson has the second fumble recovery of the season. Whack.
Well, they've found a player in Sines. He's done a great job, as you mentioned, and he's going to be a force.
Well, that's kind of how Blake. Yeah, that's kind of how Blake Horgan came on the scene. Was really to some injuries to Verona early, and then Blake Horgan comes on, and he ends up being all conference. And now you've got some injuries to Horgan, and here's Sines getting some time and playing well.
Justin Hartman now in at the QB position, and he gives the handoff up the middle to Green.
What I'm starting to see from the Grizzly offense, and I'm not sure, obviously I haven't talked to
J.R. Waller, sorry.
Yeah, J.R. Waller. I haven't talked to Coach Fennessy about this, but obviously with Green, you're going to run more straight-ahead plays. They ran that counter play a lot where he knows he has one path to go. When you get Lex in, you've got some different plays, and with Waller, some plays where he really has the opportunity to cut back and more vision type where he can read it just because of their different styles. So like I said, as a defensive coordinator, you really have a lot to prepare for. It's almost like 3 different running games that you're going to face each week.
Waller, again the lone back. Going right side.
J.R. Waller, the ball carrier.
Close to the sticks. He's going to have a first down. You see some changes now along the offensive front as well. Jason Frink, sophomore guard, is in the ball game. And there are some other players fresh into the game as well.
One thing I like what the Grizzlies are doing here as well, Grady, they're running the ball. We talked about it earlier, how some teams in the high school ranks and college kind of run the score up, and this game's in hand. So I think it is smart of them to run the ball, run the clock, and also shows a little class on their part.
Chris Orwig also in the game at tackle. Orwig, who moved over from the defensive line to the offensive line this year. Garth Enger is in the ball game. Enger, who missed part of the first part of the year with a neck injury, and the second unit is making big holes for Waller as he's got 9 more yards.
Well, it's always good if you're the offensive line coach to see your second guys come in and just continue executing very well. A lot of times when you put some seconds in there, things get a little ugly, holes don't open, get some pressure on the quarterback, whatever. But this is a good drive by these guys stepping in and continuing the execution that the Grizzlies have experienced all game long.
Waller 13 carries for 79 yards. And now Brady Green is the lone tailback. Mike Costanzo is the wideout on the left side, so he's in. Green over the 20, down to 16. Freshman out of Brighton, Utah. A good gain.
Little toss outside. We haven't seen a lot of that, but nice run on his part.
Connor Malloy getting a little chance to play. Good product out of Helena, who really just run into an emerging Willie Walden and has seen his playing time decrease. But Connor Malloy is a very gifted athlete and a good football player as well.
Ben Wynn, sophomore tight end, hard-nosed player. Coaches really enjoy Ben Wynn's style of playing, his hustle. Ben Wynn's out of Derby, former Derby Tiger. He's in the ball game at the tight end. That's a Wynn in motion right now. Green again.
Brady Green with a
4 yards.
Good hand down right there by Brady Green. That's one of those running back drills that you do off first contact. A lot of times you'll get tripped up, knocked off balance. You put the hand down and regain your balance. You'll see it right here. Takes it, starts to cut back, gets tripped up by the defensive lineman, but puts his hand down and gains an extra 4 yards. Good play.
So Hartman has come in to do the cleanup work. Hartman, who, of course, early in the year played a lot in that second ball game along with Kyle Sampson when both Disney and Oaks were on the mend. The gray shirt freshman out of CMR High School gives to Green again. Brady Green, good run.
One of the things, Tom, we've kind of hit on it as the day has progressed was, the fans being a little impatient and not understanding and things. But, boy, with both Oaks and Disney banged up all year, I think just really an incredible coaching job for the fact that you've got 2 freshmen in there. You've got Kyle Sampson, a true freshman. You're running the option, which hasn't been done here ever. You've got Justin Hartman playing. I mean, amazing coaching job to get the wins that they did and to keep moving the ball and scoring points. I just give these guys a lot of credit.
Well said. Win in motion. Green, the 7th straight run of the drive. There's a flag down.
Green on the play. There's a flag.
Portland State is hoping they can get the stop here, but they're really hoping the clock just runs out and they can get on the bus and get home.
This Portland State team, they opened the year with 2 good wins. The second win over 20th at the time, 20th ranked Nichols State. They're 2-0, and they come home to start conference play and get dropped at home by NAU 23-0. And that's a loss that Coach Walsh this week called an absolute embarrassment. And he said that we were embarrassed again against Eastern. And I think this would probably be the 3rd embarrassment on their schedule when it's all said and done.
Well, and what's crazy about it is that this was a game, and it was 20-14, and Portland State was driving, and it was scary. And all of a sudden, bang.
Offsides, defense, number 97. Penalty is half the distance from the previous spot. First down.
So my point is, I don't think Coach Walsh and his staff are going to feel that the effort wasn't there or feel that their guys didn't show up or respond or play hard, because I think they did. But I think what you're seeing maybe is just the continued improvement and emergence of the Grizzly football team.
And we talked about how a great team comes back off a loss, and I think he's seen that today. The Grizzlies were just very determined. They knew they had to win this game.
Jayton Simpson now, the tight end on the right side. Green struggling for the end zone, and he's short. He's short down to about the 1 foot mark.
Boy, this Brady Green, even at number 4 on your depth chart, he looks pretty good. Runs very well. Good running back.
He has gotten some time this year in cleanup duty, and he's looking to get into the end zone. No doubt right here. Green denied. No gain.
Brady Green with the carry. With the
They've been running outside several plays in a row. Pretty successful. That time they tried to go up the middle, and Portland State was ready for it. Might on third down come back to the outside again.
Third and goal. Now under a minute and a half left. And no good. The Vikings hold.
I'll give the Vikings credit, Tom. They come to play and they've got a lot of pride themselves. They want to stop them from scoring. They did a good job there.
A couple late flags come in. Extracurricular going on after the ball was dead. Personal foul on Montana. I don't know if that was Jayton Simpson at the end who got a little frustrated. I believe it may have been number 89 at the end.
It was.
He just got a mouthful from Dave Schramm, who assistant offensive line coach. Bobby Houck not happy with it either.
After the play, personal foul, offense number 89. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. It's still 4th down. The player has been ejected.
Well, take a look. This does get a little ugly. There's Simpson, number 89. And let it roll.
Can see.
Oh, that's
punches.
sick.
Yeah,
that's disgusting.
Yeah, I guarantee Coach Houck will have a talk with him, because Bobby does not like penalties, and I'm sure he does not like that kind of penalty at all.
Getting a shot of Coach Houck down there on the sidelines, talking to the official. Looks like he changed his outfit before the game. He told me he was wearing his cowboy boots today. He called them his lucky cowboy boots. Said he pulled them out once a year when he needed a big win. I can't see his shoes, but he definitely changed his pants. He had jeans on. They were calling him Cliff Jr., and maybe he got sick of it because he changed. He has no boots and no jeans. Reference to Cliff Heisel, the ex-Bobcat coach.
For my time, apparently.
That's why you didn't pick up on that. I'm sorry.
And Grizz fans are booing the fact that Simpson got pulled down by his face mask. Well, should also boo the fact that he slugged the guy. Green left side. 4th down, and ball will go back to Portland State.
This is one of those, Coach Houck, he just wants, as you mentioned, Grady, the clock to run out in the game to go get over with.
We will update you as much as we can before we sign off as to what happened in Bozeman, trying to nail down a final score or at least a partial, and what happened in Ogden.
First and 10, Vikings from the
Jayton Simpson wasn't getting a whole lot of playing time as it was. I think that's going to go down exponentially.
Yeah, that's not going to help. It's not how you get more reps, for sure.
Montana burned 6.5 minutes on that last drive, and that was the goal, and that's what they did. Rubin with the carry, and that could be the last play of this game.
Stops it.
Great overall team effort today in all 3 phases. Offense, defense, and special teams all played well. again, I think the coaches have to feel really good about their continued improvement. And as you mentioned, Tom, they're going to need this effort plus down at NAU next week.
We'll have that broadcast for you. 3:30 kickoff, Missoula time, in from Flagstaff. The day after Halloween on November.
I wish
1st.
I could be with you guys, but I'll have to watch you.
Should be a great game.
Should be a dandy. It'll be a packed house.
And that's it. Bobby Houck going to shake the hand of Tim Walsh, and the Montana Grizzlies improved to 6-2 on the year, 2-1 in the Big Sky Conference, and they get back after last week's loss to Idaho State. So the losing streak is over. The Grizz back on track in the Big Sky as they will head next week to Northern Arizona for a great game. No matter what happens today in Bozeman with the Lumberjacks, it's a huge game either way. Portland State drops to 1-3 in the Big Sky, and now they are at 500, 4-4 overall. And you see our man right there, Brian Salmon, standing by with Montana head coach Bobby Houck. And Brian, it's all yours.
All right, thank you a lot, Tom. Coach Houck, you guys had a great win. Might have started off just a little bit slow, but you picked it up, and the offense looked great today.
We looked pretty good in all facets. I think, we let down in kickoff coverage that last kickoff. I was a little disappointed with that, but other than that, it was a good day. We hit on all cylinders, and, it was a good day.
Somewhat of a gut check for your guys' team. You guys had the heartbreaking loss last week, but you really showed what your team was made of this week.
We really did. I'm proud of our kids. I'm proud of the way they rebounded. We came back from a heartbreaking double overtime loss down in Pocatello to a good football team, and we're a field goal and double overtime from being undefeated, and we got a big game against probably the most talented team in the conference next week.
And I guess last but not least, I'd just like to get your take. I believe Idaho State is down right now. It looks like they're going to pick up the loss. What's your take on that?
All I have to say is let's hope they stay down, and if they do, congratulations to Jerry Graybill and Weber State. Jerry's doing a good job down there.
All right, once again, thanks a lot, Coach. We appreciate it. Good win. All right, we're going to go ahead and throw it back upstairs to Tom Kotz.
Thanks a lot, Brian. This is Bob Hermes along with Grady. Tom stepped out to get us some update on some scores. But Grady, overall, you just have to credit the Grizzlies with a great effort today.
Yeah, absolutely. As I mentioned, all three phases, I think, were very, very solid. You go to the film, and you start breaking this game down, your defense, your offense, and your special teams, they're going to find a lot of positives. There's always going to be things you can improve on, but this is going to be a fun film to watch. This is one you put the reel on, and you're very happy, and you're positive with your kids, and you're just pointing out how many good things you're doing.
Well, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll wrap it up and give you our final thoughts on this, and we will update you on what's happening around the Big Sky Conference. Montana Grizzlies win 42-14. We'll be right back. The Montana Grizzlies have shut down the passing attack. They held Portland State to just 183 yards. That nickel defense worked, and that helped lead to the 42-14 win. We're going to send it back down on the field right now to Brian Salmon, who's standing by with the big man.
All right, Tom Kotz, glad that you're back in the studio. Big Willie Walden, you caught another touchdown pass this week. 2 weeks straight. It looks like you're becoming a big part of this offense now, Will.
I'm just trying to come out here and make plays and help the team however I can. The real man, the genius behind the plays is the man upstairs, Coach Fennessy. He calls the plays and gives me the opportunity to make them, and I just try to do it when my number's called.
It looks like you and Craig Oates have very good chemistry out there. You guys are throwing and catching the ball and doing really well lately.
Craig's the man. I can't say anything. I can't say enough good things about him. He just he comes out there. He's a poised man, experienced quarterback. He comes out there, makes the right reads, makes the right throws, and I just try to come up big for him.
But I guess last but not least, Will, you guys had to show what you were made of. A gut check from last week. You had a disappointing loss to Idaho State, and you guys came back and did very well.
Yeah, we came back. We had to come back and fight this game. Every game from here on out is a must-win, and we know coming to this game, Portland State hung around last year, and we knew that they thought that they should win the game, and so we had to come and erase doubt not only out of their minds, but out of the rest of the Big Sky. So I think today was a message not only to our team and the fans, but to the rest of the Big Sky also.
All right, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Willie. Had a great game. All right, go ahead and throw it back upstairs to you guys.
Okay, thank you very much, Brian, and well said by Willie. A message, I guess, sent to the rest of the league that loss is forgotten. About 6 minutes left in that game. Northern Arizona right now leads Montana State in Bozeman. NAU trying to remain undefeated in the Big Sky Conference. What's happening in Ogden? About 7.5 minutes left in that one, and Weber all over ISU. So they, looks like anyway, will not make it 2 in a row after that big win over Montana yesterday. But we are set up now, regardless of what happens in Bozeman. Now, Grady and Bob, Montana took care of their part, and that was the most important thing because they can go to Flagstaff next week and still be playing in pursuit of a conference title.
I think that game is for the championship, and we kind of talked about it last week when Montana fell to the Bengals, that if they win out and Northern Arizona wins out, the Grizzlies will win the conference championship because they would have beat NAU. So next week's game is really in all intensive purposes for the championship.
One thing I've always liked, it's been present in this program for several years now, several different coaching staffs, but these kids know how to play with a sense of urgency. And these guys understand, you could tell today, they understand that every game is a must-win, and they come ready to play knowing what's at stake, and they have that sense of urgency, which is really important. A lot of kids, a lot of teams don't understand that. These guys continually do understand that, staff after staff, team after team, Montana football.
Well, the Grizzlies now improve to 2-1 in the conference, and looking ahead, of course, the coaches don't want to go more than 1 week ahead, but it is still the latter half of the season is a road trip for Montana, as they have at Northern Arizona, and then they go to Sacramento State, and then home for Eastern, and then of course the big Grizz-Cat Grady game in Bozeman on November 22nd, but far from finished, and it was a big week for the Grizz to get back from that, and they did it. And I think the key here is, number one, turnovers. They won the turnover battle big time, and defensively they were able to contain Weiser. He threw for 183 yards, where he averages about 260, and that new look defensive package, that nickel that they worked on all week, really came through. Great job by D coordinator Jeff Hammerschmidt. Brian Salmon is standing by, I believe, with Montana quarterback Craig Oakes, and we're going to send it down to the field right now. There you go.
All right, Tom, you are right. I am standing by with Craig Oakes. And Craig, you guys bounced back after that performance last week. It's somewhat of a disappointing loss, but you guys showed exactly what you're made of.
Yeah, I thought it was just a great team effort. You know, finally, offensively, we didn't turn the ball over. Defense created tons of turnovers. It's a very good Portland State team, and to do what we did to them, I think shows that we're starting to come together as a team. Well, Willie Walden, you guys seem to have developed a great relationship together. Are you looking for him a little bit more, maybe? He's so physically gifted, you know, with his size and his athleticism, and you know, it's just something we have to use in our offense. And ever since we started incorporating more, I feel like we're more of a potent offense. Well, being that you guys want to go to the playoffs and winning out the Big Sky might be something that Coach Houck has talked with you guys about. Is that in the back of your head when you came into this game today? Yeah, but we also knew that it started today. You know, it all had to do with today. We had to win today, or else, you know, that we wouldn't worry about that goal. So yeah, we got to take each game at a time and treat each game as it's our championship game. And I guess last but not least, Justin Green came through with another great performance today. You can't say enough about that guy. You can't. He's just a war horse, and he's playing great, and it's an honor to be able to hand it off to him and have him block for me. All right, great game, Craig. Thanks a lot. All right, I'm done with Craig Oakes, the quarterback, as Montana beat Portland State. Back upstairs to you guys.
Okay, great work. Thank you very much, Brian. And in the fourth, still, Northern Arizona right now on top of Montana State. If they can hang on, the Lumberjacks remain undefeated in conference play. Now, next week, we will be in Flagstaff to bring you the game between the Grizz and the Lumberjacks from the Walk-Up Skydome at 3:30 in the afternoon. Kind of an unusual start time, 3:30 from Flagstaff. And we are about out of time on this one. Final thoughts, guys, on today's Grizz victory.
I think a complete victory for Montana. I know something Coach Houck really needed and wanted for his team, and it's nice to see him bounce back. I think they are a great team. How good and whether they'll be champions, we'll see, but it's certainly a good sign that they were able to put together this kind of effort.
Yeah, well, sometimes you see games won, and maybe one phase stood out. One phase was strong. Today, the Grizzlies, I think, looked really good in all three phases. You got to give a lot of credit to the coaching staffs in those three phases and the game plans they came up with, as you talked about, Tom, defensively with that nickel package, but then also, of course, to the kids and the fact that they took that game plan and they executed it to perfection today.
Montana comes back. No hangover in Missoula from that loss. They come back and they get it done. 42-14, a complete game, as Bob Herman said. Montana now within reach still. The goal is there. The goal is there. The next step will be in Flagstaff, and we'll have that game for you next week. And until then, have a safe week. And for all of our crew, for our stat man John Mitchell, for Bob Hermes, Grady Bennett, and for Brian Salmon. I'm Tom Cott saying thanks for joining us, and we'll see you here on Montana's television network next week from Flagstaff. Good night.